And there it is, Travis Scott getting the Astros and Nationals underway with a ceremonial first pitch. And down there on the field herself is Julia Morales.
Hey, thanks, DK. It is so good to be back calling Astros baseball with you guys up in the booth. And so much excitement already in the pregame with Travis Scott, but also so much excitement that surrounds this Astros ball club of 2024. A lot of energy I'm hearing from the guys around the first week or so, but they were dying to get the game started. That's where they're at today. However, that excitement is about the club that they have, the talent that they have. They're already gelled. This is a group that has been working together for years. That core group is there. They have leadership. All they have to do is go out and grab the goals that they are have put in place already. And so we are ready to go. Joe Espada, first-year skipper, is ready to go. TK and Blummer, good to talk with them and him as well. I know we'll hear from him later in the game, but most of all, it's good to be with you guys.
Great to be back with you again, Julia. Can't wait to get this thing going. Here's how the Astros line things up. Chas McCormick's going to lead off in left field. The Astros are the visiting team. They'll bat first. Mauricio Dubon at shortstop. Victor Caratini, the new Astro, he'll bat third and catch. John Singleton, the cleanup hitter at first. Jake Myers in center. Corey Julks will start in right field. David Hensley at third. Quincy Hamilton DHs, and Gray Kessinger bats ninth to play second base. There is Chas McCormick talking to K-Bet Ruiz as he gets into the batter's box. Chas did hit leadoff a few times last year, and over his career has batted leadoff 17 times as he leads off the 2024 spring training for the Astros, facing this left-hander.
Veteran Patrick Corbin on the last year of his extensive contract. Did not go well last year, 10-15 with a 5.20 ERA, veteran of this rotation.
We are underway with a pitch to Chas McCormick with Edwin Jimenez calling balls and strikes. Part of Lance Barksdale's crew. He's over at first base, the crew chief. Ryan Addison is the second base umpire. This one chopped foul, and that one is called by the third base umpire, Jen Powell. Jen Powell, a female umpire, umpiring a Major League Spring Training game. Blummer, this is something that hasn't happened since 2007.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting, and you hope everything goes well for Jen Powell down there at third base. Being the father of 4 daughters, obviously, whenever you get an opportunity to see a female break through in a mostly male sport or profession, it's kind of exciting to see. So best of luck to Jen.
So Jen will be one of the umpires in the minor leagues that is on the call-up list. It could be the first female umpire ever in a Major League regular season game if she gets the call. There's a swing and a miss for Chas McCormick, and the count even is a 2 apiece against Patrick Corbin. Back underway, 2024. The Astros wearing their dark spring training uniforms with the gray pants. The Nationals wearing their white home pants with the dark jerseys as well. This one fouled away. Chas does have a career home run against Patrick Corbin. It came the last time they faced each other back in Washington, May 15th of 2022. Corbin will give up some home runs.
33 in 180 innings last season.
Corbin has really gone more with that sinker than the four-seamer the last couple of years. The four-seamer had been getting hit a bit, so he's relied more on that sinker as the last 2 seasons have played out. Blummer mentioned the end of a long contract. This is the end of a 6-year deal. He will be a free agent after this season. Chas loops one foul, and that'll be into the new Cacti Park of the Palm Beaches crowd. Travis Scott on hand tonight. We'll have Jim Crane, the owner of the team, join us here in the booth in the 3rd inning. We'll hear from the new manager of your Houston Astros, Joe Espada, in the 5th inning. And Julia Morales will be gathering interviews as players come out of the game during the course of tonight's contest. The count goes full on Chas McCormick, long first at bat of the spring.
Yeah, we had 2 full rosters and an entourage that rivaled some of these teams. So there were a lot of people on the field before this game started.
Chas McCormick the other way, bidding for a home run as the first hitter of the spring, and he hits one off the wall. Lane Thomas will try and get it back in, but Chas gets to third base with an opening triple to start spring training.
There's not a lot of experience between these 2 teams, but everybody watching, we know that Chas has plenty of power going the other way, and he's even admitted as much. That's where his power goes, and he gets a fastball elevated out of the plate that he can get his arms extended on. And the history here, it Well, I guess the new history here at Cacti Ballpark is that the ball carries well to right field, and Chaz took advantage of it.
Chaz got to test the cardio right out of the gates for the spring. McCormick, who last year had an 842 OPS, hits a triple to start the spring, and now with the infield back, Mauricio Dubon will bat. Dubon got off to such a great start last year in place of the injured Jose Altuve. Mauricio was a finalist in the Gold Glove Awards. You get 3 finalists at every position. He was a finalist both at second base and as a utility fielder, and he ended up winning the Gold Glove for his utility role, being able to play all over the diamond and play it exceptionally well defensively. Here's Mauricio fouling one away. It's 0-2.
Real credit to him, and very exciting that they do offer that Gold Glove for guys who move all around the diamond. Fielded beautifully early to start that season last year for Jose Altuve, who was out with a broken hand because of the WBC.
Third baseman Nick Senzel has to track that ball all the way down into the left field corner and flip it into the stands. That's why we have a little delay in between pitches, and now he's ready to go. Yeah, Dubon had a 20-game hitting streak early in the season and really carried that average all the way through the season. Ended up strong as well with a 320 mark his last 45 games to finish the year at 278. Mauricio will probably have the same role this year. Obviously, he won't have, knock on wood, have to worry about replacing Altuve early in the season, but he should be in a lot of different positions, getting starts everywhere.
Yeah, that's where you really want to develop the relationship with the new manager. So you can say, hey, I know that our guys are going to go out there on a daily basis, and you've got that starting 9 pretty much penciled in for the rest of the season. But at the same time, you got to remember, I'd bring my Gold Glove in, I'd sit it on his desk and say, hey, I'm pretty good out there too, and if you give me some at-bats, I'll help this ball club. But it is going to be interesting to see how Mauricio moves in and through this lineup, especially defensively.
One thing we learned about Mauricio is he will put the bat on the ball in general. Corbin looking for a strikeout here with a runner on third. Instead, Dubon puts the ball in play. Might not be deep enough, but it could fall in, and it does. That's going to be a base hit. Dubon just reached out and poked a pop-up, and it fell between Luis Garcia Jr. and Victor Robles, and the Astros had the first run of the game, 2 batters in.
That's why Victor's in this lineup for the Washington Nationals, is the defense. Not necessarily a big stick, but he's out there trying to play some defense and take runs off the board. But right here, a long way to go. Can't make it in to make the play. Luis Garcia Jr. unable to get out there and help him out.
Looked like Robles stopped coming in on that ball.
Hesitated a little bit.
Thinking that Garcia was going to take charge. It might have been Robles' ball in center. And now here's our first look at the switch-hitting catcher Victor Caratini, 30-year-old in his 8th Major League season and his first at-bat as a member of the Houston Astros this spring. So Dubon, who's one of the better golfers on the team, hits about a 60-degree wedge up in the air and ends up with an RBI base hit him.
Yes, he did.
In his first at-bat of the year. Well, Caratini was the big acquisition for the Astros before the biggest acquisition of the offseason when Josh Hader was added to the roster. But this is a guy who's going to see some playing time behind Yainer Diaz, as Martin Maldonado is now a member of the Chicago White Sox. So we'll see a bit of Victor Caratini, who last year played 62 games with the Milwaukee Brewers. Yeah,
you're going to see him a lot too, and I think what's interesting about Caratini is he brings 2 bats to the ballpark every day. He can switch hits. So today he's hitting right-handed against a left-handed pitching Patrick Corbin, but he can also offer you a left-handed at bat off the bench. I think he could play a little bit of first base too, as he takes the hit by pitch down and in and goes to first.
So Caratini hit by a pitch. As you take a look at what Yainer Diaz and Victor Caratini did last year, Yainer's numbers at 1,001 OPS are only as a catcher. He excelled offensively when he was behind the plate last year.
Yeah, he was amazing, and it was kind of interesting to see over the offseason. If you're watching MLB Network, he's the 8th rated catcher in all of baseball, so there's some credibility to the fact that he can go out there and swing it. Now it's just a matter of showing consistency behind the plate to go with that stick. But again, a veteran catcher added to the roster, and Victor Caratini, I think, is going to help the process with Yainer Diaz.
John Singleton gets his first at bat of the spring, goes after the first pitch and pops it up on the infield. Luis Garcia Jr. with the infield fly rule called by the umpiring crew puts it away for the first out. So there is the first out of the inning for Corbin. This is the only night game on this Saturday, February 24th. A few teams got underway before today, but a lot of teams kicked off their Grapefruit or Cactus League spring training schedules today. Everything else was day baseball. We've got a night game tonight. Then we'll be back with you tomorrow for a day game against the St. Louis Cardinals, while the Astros play 2 games tomorrow. Of a split squad, half the team will be here, and then the other half will head to Port St. Lucie to take on the New York Mets. Nothing like Joe Espada getting 3 games in the span of about 20 hours right out of the gates.
And throw a night day right out of the chute. I mean, you're testing not only the players, but us up here.
Here's Jake Meyers. Meyers has been named as the center fielder for the Astros to start the season. Jake coming off a year in which he batted .227 with 10 home runs in 112 games. Jake is one of the 2 Astros who has faced Patrick Corbin before, along with Chas McCormick, and also the newly acquired Victor Caratini has some ABs against Corbin.
A year removed from that shoulder surgery also for Jake Meyers. Hopefully a little more comfortability out there in center field.
Jake had spurts last year. He would have a big game here and a big game there, but never had that consistency that they're hoping for this season.
Well, it felt like he had those good spurts and then started to press a little bit to try and stay in the lineup instead of just going out there and being Jake Meyers. But a couple of the interviews, and if you've been reading some of the papers and the interviews that Jake has given, he kind of enjoys having the full backing of the Astros organization to be that center fielder this season. Hopefully that can relax him a little bit and let him go out and play.
I think you will see some mixing and matching in the outfield. Jake is scheduled to be the opening day center fielder, but there are going to be times that Yordan Alvarez plays in left field, and I think you'll see Chas McCormick starting center. And then the guy who's on second base, Mauricio Dubon, will probably get some starts in center. So we'll see how it all plays out, but there's 3 pretty good options to stay in the mix in center field, all plus defenders.
All plus defenders. You got to play those matchups too. Sometimes those matchups will be dictated by who's on the mound for the opposing team, but they can also be dictated by who's on the mound for the Astros. Justin Verlander heavy on the fly balls, so you want a better defensive outfield. When Framber's out there, maybe you can move Yordan to left field with the heavy ground ball pitcher, kind of protect him a little bit too.
Jake had the best UZR numbers of any center fielder last year defensively. There's a ball into center field. That'll be down for a hit. Good break by Dubon. He's going to score. Trying to go first to third is Caratini. He'll get there. And the Astros lead 2-0. Jake Meyers with an RBI single in his first spring at bat.
There's a lot of good things happening on this play for the Astros. Number 1, Jake Meyers not taking the strikeout, putting the ball in play, and getting rewarded with a drop shot out there in center field. The second was Mauricio Dubon got a beautiful jump on this, realizing C.J. Abrams was going to have no chance at this. And something we've heard Joe Espada, the new manager of the Astros, talk about, being aggressive on the base paths. The best place to test it is right here in spring, and Victor Caratini, one of the backup catchers, going first to third with the ball right in front of him.
And easily going first to third on a ball in the shallow center field. So yeah, that is one of the points of emphasis for Joe Espada and his staff this spring, is base running and being aggressive on the bases, as Blummer mentioned. And Victor Caratini taking to that right away.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to test that and test your ability in spring. Make the mistakes here. Don't do it in game 65.
Corey Julks the batter. Julks pops a foul out of play. Corey was a guy who last spring, we were talking a lot about other guys like Justin Dearden. We'll see later on tonight. But Corey Julks, when push came to shove at the end of spring training, made the opening day roster, ended up playing 93 games at the big league level last year.
He took that position, made that roster. It was a lot of fun to watch.
University of Houston Cougar and Clearbrook High School product, Corey Julks. Hit that skid there in late July, early August, where he had a tough 0 for 36 and ended up going back to AAA Sugarland for a couple of weeks. Came back in August and then was not with the team the final month of the season or the postseason. But Julks trying to make this roster is one of those 2 spots on the bench that are kind of up for grabs. A pitch called, third strike on the outside edge. Julks goes down looking. Edwin Jimenez rings up Corey Julks for out number 2. Runners stay on first and third.
Yeah, Astros putting it to Patrick Corbin. Even after that strikeout, he's approaching that 30-pitch mark. He's right at that 30-pitch mark, and I think Davey Martinez wants his pitcher, or at least his starting pitchers, to go at least 2 innings, 35 to 45 pitches, but maybe done after 1. The bullpen already moving.
Yeah, this could be the only inning for Corbin with that pitch count where it is. You're right. Here's David Hensley. Hensley's a guy who last year only got in 30 games. He was coming off a tremendous 2022 where he got into the postseason and played a couple of games in the World Series, started a couple of games in the World Series, but never really materialized for Hensley last year. Just a 119 average and 84 at bats. And he would spend the majority of the season at the AAA level. He's another guy contending for one of those 2 bench spots. We know this. We know Mauricio Dubon and Victor Caratini are going to have 2 of the 4 bench spots, and there's a lot of guys that are going to be contending for those other 2. Hensley, the guy we just saw bat, Corey Julks, Trey Cabbage, who was acquired from the Angels, Gray Kessinger, who's in the game playing second base tonight and batting 9th.
And I'm kind of curious to see what Trey Cabbage can do, because some of the highlights we've seen in the video with him with the Angels were pretty impressive. John
Singleton also a candidate. He's been up earlier in this inning. There's Jake Myers picking up a stolen base with a head-first slide. Jake Myers, who stole 5 bags last year, gets his first one of 24.
Good situation to run in. 2-2 count or 1-2 count on the hitter. If you get thrown out, Hensley leads off, but at the same time, if you steal second base and Hensley puts the ball in play and has something good happen, 2 runs can score.
Swing and a foul tip caught by Keibert Ruiz, and that'll do it for the Astros in the first inning. But 2-run score on 3 hits. 2 men left on. Is 2-0 Astros at the end of a half inning.
At Cacti Park of the Palm Beaches, and you see the Astros with an early lead in the top of the first with 2 runs over the Nationals. That'll set up Ronel Blanco getting the first start of the spring training season for the Astros. 17 games and 7 starts. He had a 4.50 ERA as a starter, had a 4.7 ERA, but did a pretty good job out of the bullpen for the Astros with a 3.86, primarily fastball slider.
Still to be determined what Ronel Blanco's role is going to be in 2024. Last year, Ronel, during one of our broadcasts on then AT&T Sports Network, now Space City Home Network. Here's a ball into left field. C.J. Abrams has the Nationals' first hit of the spring. On an 0-1 pitch, Abrams, the shortstop who really thrived in that leadoff role last year for Washington, singles to left. This could be, talking to the Nationals radio broadcasters, this could be close to the opening day lineup. Davey Martinez putting all of his stars in there. C.J. Abrams at the top. Lane Thomas coming off a career year in right field. Joey Gallo is new first baseman. He also could play outfield. He's won a Gold Glove out there. Joey Meneses, the DH. Jesse Winkler is the left fielder. Keibert Ruiz behind the plate hitting 6th. Nick Senzel coming over from Cincinnati. He'll bat 7th. Luis Garcia Jr. and Victor Robles round out the Nats lineup. They're going with all their potential opening day guys right out of the gates.
First home appearance, I would imagine tomorrow will be the first technically home game here at Cacti Park for the Astros. They may have some of their regulars out there, but trying to give those Washington fans maybe something to look forward to and watch throughout spring training.
Washington fans loved what they saw out of Lane Thomas last year. Thomas is a guy who has spent his entire career in spring training on this coast. He was with the Cardinals from 19 through 21 and then traded for John Lester during that 21 season. Has been with the Nationals ever since. Last year, 28 home runs, a team high, 101 runs scored, and finished 8th in the National League with 36 doubles. It was quite a year for Lane Thomas, a year in which the Nationals finished 71 and 91, 16 games better than the year before. Towards third, could be 2. It is a wide throw, and it's going to possibly cost the Astros a double play. Nice try by Gray Kessinger on the turn, but Hensley's throw was wide, and that cost the Astros the potential for an around the horn.
Yeah, that looked like it was going to be routine for Ronel Blanco to erase that leadoff hit. Right at Hensley, that feed taking Kessinger away from the bag. Still made a pretty good attempt to make it kind of close at first base.
I saw Gray Kessinger make a really nice play last year in the ALCS defensively when he was basically coming in cold, hadn't played much at all in the postseason. Like Gray's a guy who ended up getting his share of time at the big league level last year. 26 games for Gray, the grandson of Don Kessinger. There's a swing and a miss. It's 1-1.
And also getting a chance at second base, and I think that might, give you an idea of how the Astros are going to try and work him also. See if he can play some other positions. We've seen him at shortstop, third base. Would imagine somewhere on a backfield he's probably getting some reps at first base, possibly too.
Here's Joey Gallo. Astros saw a lot of him as a Texas Ranger from 2015 through 2021.
Saw a lot of that too.
Last swing and miss.
Yep.
He is kind of the epitome of the three true outcomes of any baseball player in the game today. The home run, the strikeout, the walk. He fills those categories up.
Sub 200 average, above 700 OPS. It's kind of interesting how he's able to massage that, but mostly it's because of that slugging percentage and on base percentage. Just ignore the batting average.
Last year with the Twins, batted 177. 21 of his 50 hits were home runs. Drove in 40 runs now in his first full season potentially in the National League. He played 44 games with the Dodgers in 2022, but the remainder of his career he has been an American leaguer. He won a couple of Gold Gloves in the outfield. I'm not
He's
sure.
an incredible athlete.
He's a really good athlete. He could play some right field. He's going to play some left field, first base for the Nationals. But he's a guy they like in the middle of this lineup. Working with Darnell Coles, their new hitting coach, or not their new hitting coach, but he has a new hitting coach, Darnell Coles, who's been here with the Nationals. Darnell, talking to him yesterday, trying to get him turned around like he did with Chris Carter when Carter went to the Brewers after he was with the Astros.
I just feel like somewhere Mickey Tettleton and Rob Deere wondering if they played the wrong generation.
Right? You're right.
There's just all or nothing.
Yeah. It is played in the career of Joey Gallo. A lifetime batting average of 197, but 198 home runs in 863 career games.
Yeah, the power is prodigious. Like we said, he is a good athlete. He'll put together at bats, work some walks. But you always know as a manager of Joey Gallo, there's that swing and miss.
Signed a one-year deal with the Nationals with an option for next year. There is a $2.5 million buyout on that, so it's a $5 million deal. Hensley stays with it to make this play in foul territory for out number 2. Ball drifted back on him a little bit towards fair territory, but that's the second out.
Another tough thing about spring is you've been showing up every morning in the bright sunshine of Florida. Now you've got to have a night game. It's a little dusk. Staying with that ball was pretty good by David Hensley, and a ton of foul territory here down in West Palm.
Not a lot of night games, Blummer, in the spring, but when there are night games, it can be a little bit of a challenge.
It can be. I agree with you.
Because the light stanchions only go so high in the spring training ballparks.
Yeah, they go into the abyss above the light sometimes, and you absolutely have no idea where that thing went.
And you can see the color of the sky right now. The sun just set not too long ago. So, yeah, it can be a little bit of a challenge. Hensley hung in there. By the way, Hensley wearing 11 now.
Yeah.
He was 17, and the catcher, Victor Caratini, now wears 17.
Have we figured out if there has been any trade? Because usually you come in and you're like, hey, I'm the new guy, but here's a box of Oreos. I don't know. Usually it's something better than that.
You know what's funny? I asked him about the number change in Fan Fest, but I didn't ask him what he got for it. There's Joey Meneses, the DH, sending one into left field. And that'll do it for the Nationals. So an infield or a base hit by C.J. Abrams to start the inning. 1 man left on base. We head to the second, 2-0 Astros. For the second inning, Quincy Hamilton is going to lead things off. Hamilton getting a chance to DH in his first spring training game. Hamilton last year had an injury, but played 72 games at the minor league level, 28 with Sugar Land and 44 with Corpus Christi at the AA level. Hamilton, 25-year-old outfielder, DHing tonight. Had a little core injury that kept him out from late July through the end of the season and limited him to 72 games. He's behind in the count here to Patrick Corbin, 0-2. Corbin threw 35 first inning pitches and may be limited in how long he goes here in this inning. We might see him face a batter or two, but there is bullpen action going for the Nationals.
It's too early for a mid-inning pitching change, Todd.
It's only so much you can do, Glover. Those high pitch counts add up early. They don't want to push a guy, and there is Hamilton looking at a pitch on the outside edge for a called third strike. So Patrick Corbin has struck out 3 batters in a row after giving up a couple of runs.
Have benefited from a little bit of a wide call, unfortunately.
So now to bring up Greg Kessinger. We mentioned last year Kessinger playing in the ALCS and getting in 26 regular season games after his debut on June the 7th. Gray, another guy going for one of those 2 open spots on the bench, and you can see what he did last year in those 26 games. 8 for 40 with a home run. The count is 1-1. There's a strike. It's 1-2. Astros kicking off the 2024 spring training with a game against the Washington Nationals when these two teams share this ballpark, now called the Cacti Park of the Palm Beaches. They rotate. 3 games the Nationals are the home team, 3 games the Astros are the home team, and tonight Washington is the home team. The Astros will have most of their regular infielders in the game tomorrow. As you look at the bullpen, Yohan Adon warming up in the Nationals bullpen, number 60. Here's a pitch down and in. It's 2-2. We should see the regular infield of Jose Abreu, Jose Altuve, Jeremy Pena, and Alex Bregman, along with the starting catcher Yainer Diaz, all get their first opportunities tomorrow. The count's 2-2 on Gray. We'll check in with Julie Morales here in just a minute as the Astros sent 7 men to the plate in the first inning and now batting in the second. Kessinger stays alive, and if this isn't the last batter, it would be surprising for Corbin, who's up in the mid-40s in his pitch count. That's pretty close to where they wanted him to be. I'm not sure if they want him to get to 50.
Yeah, no need. I know a lot of these players come into camp ready to go, but that's a lot of pitches right out of the chute. Kessinger trying to foul off some pitches and not be the 4th straight strikeout for Patrick Corbin. He might be fouling Corbin right out of this game.
Former Astros pitching coach and now back for another season as the Nationals pitching coach, Jim Hickey, watching on. He might think this is the final batter now for Corbin with this extended at bat. And another foul ball.
Kessinger has seen everything that Patrick Corbin has got. And it's amazing, too, you know, this day and age, you keep moving forward and talking about there's Jim Hickey right there. You talk about players coming in ready to go. You can see it by example with these pitchers. They're throwing fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. They've got it all.
That is 4 consecutive strikeouts for Corbin, and out of the dugout pops Dave Martinez. Chas McCormick will see a new pitcher for his second at bat of this game. So Corbin has reached his pitch limit in start number 1. He goes an inning and 2/3, gave up those 2 first-inning runs, couple of soft base hits in the mix, and he will leave with the Astros leading 2-0. We'll have a pitching change back at the Cacti Park of the Palm Beaches right after this.
At outfielders, where Chas McCormick was ranking. Now, this is from June 1st through the end of the season. So if you think back to Chaz's year, it was a little bit of an up and down year. He had the great start, dealt with injury, took some time to get going again. And then when he started playing more consistently, he started hitting more consistently as well. You see the numbers there pretty good. Had some tweaks in there. He worked on pulling the ball at one point, just trying to adjust as the league was adjusting to him. It was just such a good year for him, he did say at the end of it as he looks back. But he said, I have a lot of room to grow. Speaking of growing up, guys, congrats to Chas and Courtney. His wife, they got married earlier this month. He said it was perfect. He mentioned his wife looked amazing, and the wedding even made People magazine. Plummer.
Wow. People magazine, that's pretty good. I'm surprised he didn't come up and talk to me about that. Instead, he came down the hallway screaming meatloaf at me, which I greatly appreciated. But it's good to see Chaz, and Julia's right about the adjustments that Chaz makes throughout the course of the season. It's been interesting to watch him kind of mature in the game, because last season he was one of the best fastball hitters in the game and had to adjust to some of the off speed, but he has become a vital piece of this lineup for the Astros.
McCormick tripled his first time up. Nothing new for Chaz against the lefty. Patrick Corbin, the starter, now out of the game, but Chaz hit .325 against lefties last year with 1,008 OPS. Now he faces a righty at second at bat, Yohan Adon. Adon misses on that 3-1 pitch, and Chaz draws a walk.
Has thrown 121 and 2/3 innings in the big leagues. Walks have been a little bit of an issue. 66 walks in his career to 112 strikeouts. The arm is live, but the young 25-year-old Dominican just trying to harness that control, averaging right around 95 miles an hour on his fastball.
Broke in with the Nationals in 2021, made one start at the end of the year, and then in 22 he was a starter for 14 games. Last year a couple of bullpen appearances and 10 starts. Facing Mauricio Dubon here. Dubon singled in a run his first time up, put the Astros on the board 1-0 after the Chaz McCormick triple. Of the 3 hits that Patrick Corbin allowed, the triple by Chaz was well struck, but Lane Thomas kind of got twisted around out there in right field. And then the other 2 hits, the Dubon wedge shot into center field, and then the Jake Myers single into center as well. Not hit really hard against Patrick Corbin. But he leaves having given up 2 runs on 3 hits in an inning and 2/3. You mentioned the control for Adon. He's down 3-0 on Dubon after walking Chaz McCormick on 5 pitches. That's a strike. Dubon thought he might have drawn the walk. Instead, he'll have a 3-1 pitch coming. There goes McCormick on the 3-1 pitch, and Dubon fouls it away. We were so locked in last year on the 30-30 bid for Kyle Tucker, we kind of ignored the 2020 bid for Chaz McCormick. He was 1 stolen base shy of a 2020 season, matching his number.
Yeah, it's a shame we locked in so much on Kyle that we kind of overlooked that, but that's pretty impressive for Chaz.
22 home runs, 19 stolen bases. And already we have seen the Astros run the bases aggressively, with Caratini going first to third, with Jake Myers with a stolen base, and now another attempt at stolen base here in the 2nd inning.
Well, you would imagine, much like Yainer Diaz for Chaz, might get a little more opportunity this year to be out there often enough to try and accrue enough numbers to get to that plateau of 2020, if not more.
Chaz off with a 3-2 pitch, and there's a base hit into center field. McCormick will go first to third. Mauricio Dubon, a 2-for-2 start to his season.
Well, you mentioned it in his first at bat. He is a guy that's going to go up there and put together some good at bats. Doesn't strike out a whole lot, but right here gets a pitch up and in that he can handle. Pulls the knob through first and just barrels it up the middle for that base hit, sending Chaz to third base.
Chaz off with a 3-2 pitch, and there's a base hit into center field. McCormick will go first to third. Mauricio Dubon, a 2-for-2.
Thanks for picking me up right there, TJ.
Here's Victor Caratini. So we've seen Caratini bat right-handed his first at bat, and now batting left-handed in this plate appearance. He's a guy that throughout his career has been a little bit better as a left-handed hitter, a little more pop as a left-handed hitter, including last year.
Yeah, you know, obviously I've hung around Lance Berkman quite a bit. I've talked to Chipper Jones a little bit, and you know, just some of these switch hitters, and understanding that it's because of the majority of at-bats you get as a left-handed hitter. You know, it possibly has changed over the course of the last 10 to 15 years, but at the same time, 75% of my at-bats were left-handed, so I had better power numbers as a left-handed hitter. It's just the amount of at-bats you accumulate, and obviously when you have more at-bats on one side, you become a better hitter.
All 7 of Caratini's home runs last year for the Brewers were hit as a left-handed hitter. He had about a 50-point slugging percentage advantage as a lefty versus a righty. But it's a nice weapon to have. The Astros signing him for 2 years to have a switch hitting catcher as your backup catcher behind Yainer Diaz. There's a swing and a miss on a 2-1 pitch.
2-1 changeup he swung over the top of. But yeah, I think it's a nice attribute to be able to have one of your role player bench types be able to swing the bat from both sides of the plate. Offers a different weapon maybe later in the game if necessary.
Caratini uses his 1 timeout in this plate appearance prior to this 2-2 pitch coming. Runners on base. It's now a shorter clock. This ball sent into left center field. That'll be down for a hit. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Dubon's flying around third. He'll be waved home. 2 RBI double for Victor Caratini, and the Astros lead 4-0.
Nice piece of hitting by Victor. 2-out lightning, as we like to call it. Got a pitch up out over the plate. And smokes it in that left center field gap. Mauricio coming all the way around from first base to score that second run. It's always nice when you sign a free agent contract with a new team and immediately right out of the chute you have a couple of great at-bats.
On base with the hit by pitch, and now a double in the left center field as John Singleton bats and takes one off the plate for a ball. 1-0. Caratini with 2 runs batted in makes it a 4-0 Astros lead. Yohan Adon has not picked up an out so far coming in out of the bullpen. A walk, a single, and now a double. Adon with a strike there is 1-1. John Singleton popped up to second his first time up. Singleton last year, one of the better stories, not only for the Astros, but in all of Major League Baseball. He had gone from 2015 until last year, June the 3rd, without a Major League at bat. He was out of the game for 3 years. From 2018 to 2020, and Singleton is going to reach on a catcher's interference against Keibert Ruiz. One thing the Nationals have talked about to try and help out Ruiz, obviously the pitchers have to hold runners better, but they ran a lot on Ruiz last year, so he was going to be a little bit closer to the plate, go down to that 1 knee stance, and he got a little too close to the plate here on this swing.
Well, watch the glove. He reaches for that baseball. A lot of times you got to teach some of these catchers, if they're going to be that close to the plate, is not go get the baseball, kind of let that baseball come to you, because if you do try to get it, you end up in that situation where you do get that catcher's interference, unfortunately.
So that'd be an error charge to the Nationals, putting runners on first and second as Singleton reaches. And here's Jake Myers. Myers singled home a run his first time up, also stole a base. Initially, Joe Espada said he wanted his guys to get 2 at-bats in the starting lineup. Well, they may get a 3rd at-bat because they're already in the second inning, only in the second inning, with hitter number 5 getting his second at-bat. So we might see Chaz and Dubon, maybe Caratini get a 3rd at-bat, possibly other guys in the lineup. There he is, the new manager of your Houston Astros, taking over for Dusty Baker, who retired at the end of the 2023 season. Joe Espada. We'll have Joe on with us from the dugout during the 5th inning. The count is 3-0 on Jake Myers. Big night for Joe. After Patrick Corbin threw a lot of pitches in an inning in 2/3. Yohan Adon is throwing a lot of pitches here in this inning. He's close to 25 pitches. Jim Hickey might be wondering how he's going to get through 9 innings if these guys stay on this kind of pace. Only 11 strikes so far thrown tonight by Adon, as that is a walk. 5 batters in. He has not retired a batter out of the bullpen. Now a word from Reliant.
Reliant, official energy provider of the Houston Astros.
So the bases are loaded for Corey Julks. Julks struck out looking his first time up. Now bats with the bases full against the Dome.
Where are you going?
Takes a strike. Base hit left field, scoring at least one. Around third comes John Singleton. The throw will be cut off. 2 RBI single. Corey Julks makes it a 6-0 lead.
Good swing by Corey Julks. The Astros continue to pile on here with 2 outs. That's when Adone came in. With the pitches that he has thrown in the zone, the Astros have barreled up big time. And with 2 outs, you can see John Singleton and Caratini off with the swing of the bat, scoring easily.
And Blummer, another example of a first to third. This one with the left fielder coming in on that throw. Jake Myers got in rather easily first to third.
I like the aggressiveness. It's always going to be fun to watch if these guys are going to be that aggressive on the base paths.
So Myers going first to third on that hit to left field by Julks. The Astros have faced Yohan Adone now for 6 batters. He has not recorded an out, as David Hensley takes one inside for a ball, 2-0. This will be the 9th batter of the inning for the Astros. Quincy Hamilton and Gray Kessinger struck out against Patrick Corbin. But Adone has not picked up any outs out of the bullpen, approaching 30 pitches in this outing. As he picks up a swinging strike there, it's 2-1. Nationals had listed their potential pitchers for this game, and that always includes some guys from the minor league camps just in case. And they're going to have to use some of these just in case guys tonight, it appears. As Hensley swings and misses, it's 2-2.
Yeah, you always carry an emergency crew. Usually it is those minor league guys or mini camp guys that are still around and available. I think this is starting to qualify as that.
Well, if you look at the bullpens, especially the Astros bullpen, you see just orange hat after orange hat. There's, what, 20-ish, 20 to 25 guys in their bullpen?
At least.
It's crazy. I mean, it's stacked out there. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's at least 20 guys. It's crazy.
There's no room to sit.
No. And they were still panning to the left. There's more guys beyond what you saw. Maybe 30. That's a big crew out there.
You know who Urquidy and Javier is?
There's JP.
JP stands out a little bit. Abreu's just massive.
And Luis Garcia. Down goes Hensley on strike, so Adone picks up an out to end the inning, but damage done. The Astros score 4 more and lead this game 6-0.
Ash Sweets. DK.
Julia, how is it down there? Another year.
Crowded. The bullpen and the dugout both crowded. But no, it's good. I'm good. I'm great.
It's good to be back with you all, and good to be back for another spring training schedule. First of 12 broadcasts on Space City Home Network tonight. A lot of the regulars in the dugout, huh?
They were.
I mean, we saw some of the regulars in the bullpen, but I didn't know how crowded the dugout was if some of the regulars still hung around. It's a night game, and you got an early game tomorrow. So.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. But we're here for an inning.
Travis Scott's out there throwing the first pitch. You got to, give your dap and, all that stuff.
There's a ball in the left field, playable for Chaz McCormick, and Chaz puts it away as Jesse Winker, former Mariner in red, flies out to left.
It's a TV game, so you got to make an appearance, in case we do pan the dugout. Hey.
Yeah.
But as soon as those two, let's just say, as soon as the Astros offense did what they did in the first 2 innings, they probably sent some of those guys home early. They were like, okay, boys, you got this the rest of the way. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
So here's Ronel Blanco in his second inning of work. The Astros would love to see him get through 2 innings. Right now, no bullpen action. He only threw 17 first inning pitches. Ronel last year split time between the Astros and the Sugar Land Space Cowboys. Made 7 starts and 10 bullpen appearances for the Astros and 13 starts and 2 relief appearances for the Space Cowboys. And it was on our broadcast last year when it was general manager Dana Brown as Keibert Ruiz fouls one away, who basically wondered out loud, what would this guy be like as a potential starter after one of his relief appearances, and that kind of got the wheels in motion to turn him into a starter.
Kind of gives you an idea of the importance of spring training. If you break out of blocks looking pretty good and have yourself a good spring, there's a chance you break with the team, because you can instantly impress somebody in that front office that'll kind of stick their neck out for you, make an argument for you to be on the roster, and you end up on it.
Justin Verlander threw today, which was a good sign, but he had a slight setback at the beginning of spring training. Same with J.P. France. So we'll see how things shake out as they get down towards the end of spring training. We still have another month and 4 days until opening day at Minute Maid Park. So a lot of time to sort things out as Ruiz stays alive on a 2-2 count.
Not sure how we got to that pitch, but that was a good slider down and in, and that was really what kind of turned the head of Dana Brown. As we knew the velocity was there, but being able to locate and use that slider as a swing and miss pitch is what turned everybody on to Ronel.
Ruiz doing a good job staying alive here. He was a tough guy to strike out last year. Of the qualified hitters, only Luis Arraez struck out fewer times in the National League than Keibert Ruiz. And he is showing why he is tough to strike out in this at bat on the 2-2 pitch. And now Ronel gets him after a good battle. Ronel Blanco strikes out Ruiz for the second out. That's the first strikeout for Blanco. Now a word from Reliant.
Reliant, official energy provider of the Houston Astros.
Two outs, nobody on. Nick Senzel, one of the new Nationals last year. Split some time between third base and the outfield. Coming over from the Cincinnati Reds, Senzel was a first-round pick, similar to Jesse Winker, 4 years apart. Reds' first-round pick, now trying to resurrect their career with the Washington Nationals. Senzel playing third base tonight. Last year, for the first time, he had been more of an outfielder before last year. Last year, for the first time, played more third base than the outfield. Signed a one-year deal with Washington as he takes a pitch a little bit low, 2-2. Winker signed a minor league deal with the Nationals. Senzel was a one-year major league deal. That's a called third strike. Good 2 innings of work for Ronel Blanco. Gave up a leadoff hit and then retired the next 6 batters. We'll have Jim Crane, the owner of the Astros, join us next half inning. It is 6-0. We're joined by the owner of the Houston Astros, Jim Crane. Jim, welcome back to West Palm Beach. Thanks for joining us.
Well, it's a great night, and got a new name on the stadium. That's great.
New name on the stadium, and 6-0 lead as Quincy Hamilton fouls one back. Always busy time for you at the kickoff of spring training, but especially this year because you're getting ready for 2 big events at the end of March, opening day and the Children's Hospital. Go ahead.
We've got the PGA coming in, and we'll start Thursday, the opening night of the game, first round at the Memorial Park, and it's setting up to be a good tournament. We got 2 big names in there already. Scheffler came in, and the U.S. Open champion just joined us. So we think we'll have probably 5 or 6 of the top 20 in the field, and it should be a great week.
So in the past, when you took over the Houston Open, it happened to time up that your baseball team was going into October, November.
Yeah.
So you had the collision of the tournament and the World Series. Now you've got it moved to that couple of tournaments before the Masters. How exciting is that? But now you're up against opening day.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a busy day, but it'll be fun. We can handle it. They play in the day, we play at night, so gosh, that's great. But no, we were, you know, when they lost the tournament, we had to play in the fall, and our goal was to get it back to the spring, and we've got it back there, and, you know, we're in prime time, and so it's going to be a really fun week for the city of Houston with all those sports.
Catcher's interference allowed Quincy Hamilton to get on base. Now Greg Kessinger, the batter. So we've seen a couple of starters so far tonight contribute. We've already seen Chas McCormick, Jake Myers, Mauricio Dubon's going to get his share of starts. Tomorrow we might see the infielders get their first crack at things this spring, and it's going to be an infield that includes Jose Altuve, who's going to be around for a while.
We got Altuve's extended, and you know, he's been with the team. When I came in, he came up. You know, if you remember the history on it, they came up and they told him, they said, you know, you can play second base for a little bit at the end of the year before, and you probably go back down. He came up from Double-A and never went back down. So pretty good story, and hopefully he'll retire with a Hall of Fame resume when he gets done.
Yeah, it really seems like he's trending in that direction. Was there an importance on keeping him here and keeping him an Astro? Was there a little emotion involved in that with Jose Altuve and that signing?
Well, you know, yes. I mean, you know, he's a great guy. He's a catalyst of the team. He's loved by all the fans. I mean, Altuve needed to stay in Houston. He's one of our key ingredients and great in the community and just a great human being. And you want him on your team and you want him in the dugout.
Quincy Hamilton with a walking lead, and he ends up with a stolen base. Hamilton, who stole 6 bags in the minor leagues last year, picks up a stolen base, his first of the spring. By the time Altuve's contract is up, the stadium and what's around the stadium is going to look vastly different than it does now. You're always looking to improve things, not only in Minute Maid Park, but around Minute Maid Park. Tell us about some of how
we've got a project going. We're looking for approval from the city here quickly. We've got an approval. We just got to get the economics right. But we're going to build a 4-star hotel with a kind of ballpark village around it with about 60,000 square feet with a lot of entertainment, and it will connect directly to the ballpark and actually direct to the parking lot behind it and then into the convention center. So it's going to be a big plus for Houston. I think it will change downtown a little bit with the entertainment down there.
Yeah, it's amazing to see some of these newer ballparks incorporating what's around the ballpark to kind of create the event before the actual event. And you kind of created a different kind of event at the back end of the bullpen this offseason by signing Josh Hader. I think that was one of those things that, I don't know if it shocked you, but everybody around baseball was kind of in awe of the fact that you were able to lock him up.
Well, we did a little, you know, we knew we needed another arm at the back of the bullpen, and there wasn't, you know, Hector Neris did a heck of a job for us last year. We were looking at him, and we finally just said, you know, who's the best guy out there? And they said Hader, and we said, well, you know, it really added dimension to the team that we didn't have and give us another big opportunity to go the distance. So that the decision was pretty easy once we looked at all the data and looked at all the numbers, and you know, he's got a big plus WAR, so he should be very effective. And I think Joe will use all those guys 7, 8, 9, you know, depending on the matchups too.
During this stretch, the golden era of Astros baseball, 7 consecutive appearances in the American League Championship Series as Chas McCormick pops one into shallow center field. Who's going to catch this? Wow. Garcia finally goes out and gets it. Robles, not sure if he didn't see that ball either, didn't go after it aggressively. That's the second out of the inning. You've been the constant. This will be the 3rd different manager. We've had 3 general managers during this stretch of 7 years to the ALCS. Has it been impressive to you as you take yourself out and look at it from 30,000 feet above, how this team has continued?
Yeah, it's been fun. I mean, we've been fortunate, but we've always been able to seem to pull off the right move at the right time. And, you know, I think it's just being patient and studying it. I mean, we brought in Verlander, we brought in Greinke, we brought in Cole. I mean, we also made some big trades at the turn, but also, you know, if we need someone to give us that component, you know, a couple more pieces to really bolster the team, we'll do it. I mean, I don't think there's any question about it. You know, people say we won't do this and we won't do that, but I think we got them on the run now.
I think you do too. And when you did become the owner of the Astros, did you ever imagine you'd have 2 World Series trophies?
Well, I'm very proud of those 2 trophies for not only the team, but the city's big behind us. You know, we got a great fan base. We've sold a lot of season tickets this year, so we have a good following. So it's a great place to have a ball team, and we get great support, carpet support, fan support. And without that, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. I mean, we put out a great product, and we're able to, you know, spend with some of the big guys when we need to, and try to make the best decisions we can with the fans' money. That's the way I look at it.
I like that. And the fans, you mentioned the support, incredible support. And we play the Nationals, so it brings up the memory of not being able to win those games at home is crazy, right? Like Blummer, the only time Blummer is speechless is when I ask him, how come the Astros
I've got nothing.
Can't hit better.
He gets real hot when he asks me about home games.
It's kind of crazy, right? I mean,
it's really strange. But, you know, having been there for a few, you know, we've been there 4 times, you know, it's really hard to win them. You guys know, you won one, beat us with Chicago. But at the end of the day, you know, you're not going to win them all. You got to get in that position. You got to get a break here. I mean, they hit one, Washington hit one off the foul pole and then chinked to the right. Another 2 inches, we probably win that game. So it really comes down to one play, one pitch, one out a lot of times. And but get yourself in a position to be there. That's the best thing about it.
Creating that kind of consistency, did that help in making this decision to bring in a guy like Joe Espada, who's already been here?
Yeah, I think Joe's been around a long time. The players respect him. He works hard. You know, he's great at spring training. I think you'll see this team run a little more, and he'll get some of the basics back. And you know, he deserved a chance. And I think, you know, the respect he had from the players and the buy-in from the players was really an easy decision to give him the chance. I mean, he deserved a chance, and I know he'll do a good job.
We have another mid-inning pitching change. You want to get going? I think we need to.
You guys need a break.
I think we need to pay some bills.
We got to go back and pay for some of the food back there. We got a lot of guys eating a lot of chow back there.
I bet, yeah.
So we'll keep it going. We'll sell some hot dogs tonight. But thank you for your time, guys. And you guys are great. And great with the fans. So we'll see you back in Houston, folks.
Tim Crane, the best, the owner of the Houston Astros, joining us here in the booth. We'll be back with more after this. 7-0 Astros. New pitcher in the game is Luke Farrell as Victor Caratini bats for the 3rd time.
Yeah, we have reached into the minor league emergency, guys. As you see, Luke Farrell wearing number 89 coming into this ball game, trying to close out this inning. One thing Davey Martinez pitchers have had an issue with is closing out some of these innings.
Catcher's interference and a couple of walks have not helped Yohan Adon in his 1 inning of work, giving up 5 runs. Some of those will be unearned due to the catcher's interference, but Farrell was pitched at the big league level for the Royals, the Reds, Cubs, Rangers, Twins, Cubs again, and Reds again. As Caratini gets on base yet again. Victor Caratini has been hit by 2 pitches already.
Yeah, that's not fun. It's not the way you want to start spring with a couple of bruises. Like a little bit of a cutter or slider just tracing right to that right tricep of Caratini.
Mauricio Dubon has 3 hits in the first 3 innings of the spring, and now
he's my early MVP in spring.
He is MVP already, and now Victor Caratini's been on base 3 times in the first 3 innings of the spring. This is the 4th hitter to bat for the 3rd time in the first 3 innings. The Nationals using 3 pitchers so far have picked up 8 outs in this game. Patrick Corbin got 5 outs. Yohan Adon got 3 outs, and now Farrell, the new pitcher.
Well, the first 3 guys in the lineup have been on base 8 out of the 9 at bats that they've had.
Craziness.
That's aggressive early. I mean, if you were looking forward to having us back, you're going to get a lot of us tonight.
7 hits, 2 catcher's interferences, 2 hit by pitches, 2 walks. Astros have been all over the bases tonight. John Singleton has one of the 2 catcher's interferences. He reached last time on catcher's interference. Quincy Hamilton led off this inning reaching on catcher's interference. So maybe the new setup spot for K-Bear Ruiz has to be adjusted a little bit, because he is almost too close to the hitters apparently.
Yeah, that's what's crazy about spring training, is that you can work on some of those things, whether as a pitcher it's what pitch you want to try and move into your repertoire, or as a catcher, you're trying to change that stance a little bit. But I'm sure there's video cameras all over the place taking good views. And here is another issue when you do creep up behind that hitter is you get caught by that backswing.
John Singleton has a long follow through with the swing, and he caught Keibert Ruiz on the helmet mask area. He's going to get a little time to regroup here on this 3-2 count.
Yeah, he's going to show up in the film room and say, hey, if I can take away 2 errors and not get knocked in the skull, I think I'm going to move back.
2 on, Dubon and Caratini, 2 outs and a full count. Runners off with the pitch, and that'll be down and in ball 4. And the Astros will have the bases loaded.
There's that backswing, like you said, and that caught him square on top of that helmet. A little more traditional, not using that hockey mask, using the traditional skull cap and mask. But yeah, even after a couple of years in the big leagues, there's still something to learn in spring training and adjustments to be made.
Jake Myers has been on base twice. He bats for a 3rd time. A single, a stolen base, and a walk. Takes a pitch at the top of the zone for a strike. It's 0-1. So the Astros offense, usually it's the pitchers ahead of the hitters early in the spring. But the Astros offense just filling up the bases every inning.
Yeah, flipping the script.
7 men to the plate in the first, 9 men to the plate in the second, and another 7 here in the third. This will be the final out of the inning as Myers pops up to leave the bases loaded to end the third. But the Astros add to their lead. It's now 7-0. Postseason games have become a regular feature of being an Astros season ticket holder as they have a new pitcher on in the bottom of the third.
Looking at right-hander, Taylor Scott, 31-year-old, is out of Johannesburg, South Africa. Signed with the Astros on December 12th. Of last year. He spent some time in the big leagues with Seattle, Baltimore, San Diego, the Dodgers, Boston, and a cup of coffee with the Oakland A's as well.
This ball hit high in the air to right field, carrying a little bit, but Corey Julks seems to have it lined up, and he does. Just in front of the warning track. Long fly ball off the bat of Luis Garcia for out number 1. The Nationals still haven't had a hitter bat for the 2nd time, and the Astros have had 5 hitters hit 3 times already today. Take a look at Scott. Blummer mentioned he's from Johannesburg. He is the first South African ever to pitch in the major leagues. He actually became the first South African to ever pitch in Japan, the Nippon Professional Baseball League, when he did so for 2 years, 2020 and 2021. Kind of worked out for him in 2020 during the pandemic that he was over in Japan pitching as the Astros and everybody else played a shortened 60-game schedule. There's a swing, tried to hold up, but Victor Robles goes too far. It's 0-2. So the Astros think Taylor Scott has a shot to be one of those guys in the bullpen this year. I mentioned all the teams he's pitched for last year, all in one season. Dodgers and the Dodgers AAA team, the Red Sox and the Red Sox AAA team, the A's and the A's AAA team. That's a lot of stops.
Going on a nice vacation though with all those frequent flyer miles.
That's a lot of stops after he spent 2022 with the Padres, and now his latest stop is with the Houston Astros.
He'll throw more sliders than fastballs. You can see kind of that short arm, 3/4 arm delivery.
Strike called outside corner, framed up nicely by the new catcher Victor Caratini. That'll be out number 2 in the first strikeout for Taylor Scott.
Just a fastball on the outside corner. Looked like a little 2-seam or arm side run to keep it on that outside edge. Caratini frames it up nicely to get that punch out.
Joe Espada was a guest last night on Astroline, the first show of the spring, and he basically reiterated what we all have thought, and that the back end of the bullpen is pretty much set. We'll talk more about that as Taylor Scott has a very nice Astros debut. A 1-2-3 inning as Gray Kessinger makes the play to John Singleton for the final out of the.
See this. Here is the TV schedule. So on Space City Home Network, you will see the Astros tomorrow. We'll be right back here tomorrow, 11:30. Our coverage will begin Tuesday, and then a few games in mid-March. We'll show you that here in just a second. The rest of those games in March. We have a few games coming up for everybody. All your coverage, including tomorrow's game, TK.
Yeah, 3 games in 4 days right out of the gates. Let's do it. Let's go. Tonight, the only night game on that schedule. The Astros will play the Washington Nationals in that game on Tuesday. So we'll see the Nats again as they go to a new pitcher here in the 4th. This is their 4th pitcher, who's now beginning the 4th inning.
Yeah, a lot of action with those arms from Washington. Jackson Rutledge, 25-year-old right-hander, stands at 6'8" and can bring it. He is an upper 90s type guy. 4 starts last season with a 6.75 ERA. 12 strikeouts to 6 walks. Spent some time at San Jack down in Texas.
Base hit for David Hensley the other way. Hensley now 1 for 3. Astros have their 8th hit of the night.
Join the official Kids Club and sign up for the Astros Buddy Club presented by HEB today. For just $38 plus tax and fees, Buddies Club members get an exclusive jersey, hat, drawstring, backpack, lanyard, and 4 tickets to an Astros game. Visit astros.com/buddies to sign up today.
Here's Quincy Hamilton taking a healthy rip, and he fouls one back. Hamilton reaching on a catcher's interference, stealing a base and scoring a run his last time up. Hamilton was a guy who was a walk-on at Wright State. He did not have a scholarship. Went to that school in Ohio and walked on as a pitcher and ended up switching to a position player. And here he is playing in the minor leagues as an outfielder as he pops this one up to third base, and that'll be out number 2. Hamilton getting the DH tonight, at least for the first 3 at-bats or so. There are already more at-bats into this game than Joe Espada planned. He does not have Chas McCormick on deck, so it looks like he is going to start to get his regulars out of the game. Tyler Whitaker has grabbed the bat. He is in the on-deck circle to hit for Chas. So the starters tonight getting 3 full innings. It was a busy 3 innings, but 3 innings and out for Chas McCormick at least, it seems.
Oh, these guys have gotten their money's worth.
Ray Kessinger bats for the 3rd time and chops a foul. We mentioned we see Gary Pettis on the third base coach's box. That is an old familiar face. Happy to have so many of the Astros coaches returning this year who've been here for years, including GP. But a new face in the first base coach's box, but not really a new face.
Yeah, new old guy.
Dave Clark's been around the Astros before, but he's now the Astros first base coach. There he is.
I'm a big fan of Dave Clark. I was actually on the team when he was the interim manager, and he was a lot of fun to be around. He can bring a heavy hand sometimes and be necessary. So I think that he is going to kind of be here to implore these guys to play the game as hard as they possibly can. He's going to help out a lot, encouraging these guys to go first and third. But you talk about a keen baseball sense. That man right there has it.
And in case you're wondering, last year's first base coach Omar Lopez is now the bench coach for Joe Espada.
And Joe can't shake him, can he?
A lot closer to him all game long now. At least last year they would get reprieves in between.
Get a break every
The
inning.
Astros were in on the offensive end. But yeah, I don't know Dave as well as you and Julia, but Julia raves about him, and obviously you have great things to say about him as well.
Have you had a chance? Have you met Dave Clark?
Just briefly, but
have
as
you shook his hand?
Not since.
I'm asking if you have you ever shook the man's hand?
I don't recall.
If he doesn't know you, he'll be gentler on you. But be prepared. That guy, he has one of the strongest grips in baseball.
Tough play for the third baseman Senzel. His throw on the money. Nice play. Nick Senzel over at third to retire Gray Kessinger to end the top half of the 4th. We head to the bottom half. Astros lead 7-0.
I am with Doobie. Why don't you? Hi. Say hi to fans. Where's your glove? I wanted to show off the new patch.
It's inside. It's inside. I didn't got any ground balls today, so.
So humble. Let's talk about your start to your spring training season. That's not bad. Very efficient.
Yeah, it was good. It's good. You know, it's the off season was good. Put a lot of work in. Coming in and take it right off from last year.
Even scoring from first. All the cardio that you did this offseason, you're ready?
Yeah, that was the first run of the offseason right there.
It has to feel good though to get some things under your belt, right?
It's, coming here, seeing the bats, seeing pitching. Corbin's going to be in the season, so it's good to see him and, try to get a feel for it again.
See this offense. I mean, I know we're not seeing everybody we're used to seeing this lineup, but just to get everybody going, what is it like for you to watch that?
No, it's good. It's good. Everybody's healthy right now. I had a couple of the guys pressure, but it was fun. It was fun watching the guys over here. Right.
Cool.
I had Jordan, I had Tucker, I had everybody here, Bregman. So it's fun. It's fun. It's a fun clubhouse.
These guys are your biggest fans. Those guys are your biggest fans. What are you talking about? Especially Yordan Alvarez. You told me in one of our sit-down interviews, you guys, you talk every day.
Yes. We like to send memes to each other. It's fun. It's a fun thing. We laugh a lot.
That tells us everything you need to know about your relationship when you start sending memes to each other. We get it. How excited are you about this club and what you guys can do this year?
I was talking to Jose today, Altuve. The team looks good. The spring training vibe is pretty good. Everybody gets along. It's something that, it's you need to have that, to go back again at the World Series. And it's pretty good just having all the guys getting along on the same page. Everybody's pulling for each other. I think that's the biggest one for us right now.
What about it? We saw Victor Caratini, a couple hits for him today, getting on base a lot. We'll learn more about his catching too, but how is he fitting in with everybody?
Good. No, I know Victor from when I was in the minors. I'm glad he's with us. He's a tough catcher to hit off, and he's good. He's going to be a good part of the team.
All right. Well, how was your off season? Let's check in. The family good? Everybody's good?
It was good. It was really good. I was in Honduras, South Africa a little bit. It was yes. It was really good. I enjoy every minute of it. But it went by quick.
Highlight of going to Africa?
Watching a lion, I think, 2 feet from you, and the lion not even care about you. I think that was the biggest one. And we slept at a tree house. There was no security, no anything. It was pretty intense.
You got that close to a lion? Were you scared?
I was very scared. You can see my wife's Instagram, how I did not move at all. I had a pocket knife, but that was not gonna do anything to that lion right there.
That's great. Well, I appreciate you spending the time. I know you want to get out of here and get some rest. Thank you so much, and we'll be talking to you down the road.
Thank you. Back to you, Tika.
Good toss, Doobie. Love it.
Doobie.
3 hits in 3 innings, Blummer. That's how you get spring training started.
That's a good way to start spring, but at the same time, you know what, TK, there's only one place I can go.
But he's off to a 3 for 3.
Enjoy it. I mean, it's too bad there's a day game tomorrow. If there was another night game, you'd have all morning to enjoy it.
Man, nothing. I mean, facing Patrick Corbin's nothing when you fall asleep next to a lion.
Yeah, seriously, you're not going to panic too much, are you?
And this is the new arm the Astros acquired from Kansas City in the offseason. That was one of Dana Brown's trades, so I'm sure he has a good shot to make the team. Dylan Coleman.
Yeah, he's going to be very interesting, and I'm not sure if anybody's followed him on social media. There were some moments where he flashed video of him touching triple digits, so that arm is definitely there. He's a high-velocity guy, average 95 miles an hour on that fastball. We've seen a couple of swings and misses with the four-seamer up in the zone already in this outing, but I think it's going to be very interesting to get his stuff into the hands of Josh Miller and see how he can work with Dylan Coleman to make that stuff effective in the zone, because walks can be a little bit of an issue for Dylan Coleman, as you see a couple of the acquisitions by Dana Brown in the offseason.
Yeah, that was really walks and getting into hitters counts last year, because he put together pretty good numbers in 2022. Yeah. Well, last year did not go well for Dylan, to the point where he ended up pitching more games in Omaha at the AAA level than he did for the Kansas City Royals at the big league level. But the stuff is there, as Blummer mentioned, and there are opportunities, maybe more so now, and we could talk with Joe Espada about that in the 5th inning as he'll join us in the next half inning. But there are more spots probably now available in that bullpen to be won this spring than I can remember for an Astros bullpen in a while.
I agree with you, and it's going to be interesting. You know, the first couple of months for the Astros is going to be a lot of games, not many days off, so the rotation's going to be affected by that. But at the same time, when you know you're going Abreu, Presley, Hader in some kind of order to finish off a game, you're in pretty good shape. But sometimes you're going to have to find a way to go from the starter to those last three guys, and who's going to fill that void?
There's a base hit the other way by Jesse Winker. He is going to go to second with a head-first slide as James Wood, the pinch runner for Lane Thomas, goes first to third. So a couple of hits here in the inning. The first was an infield hit, and that was an opposite field double by Winker. So in addition to those three at the back end of the bullpen, we know that Rafael Montero is going to make the team. So those are your four solidified spots in the bullpen. And then the other four, we'll see.
Yeah, that'll be part of the fun in spring.
Jesse Winker's evening is over, as was Lane Thomas's. So we're starting to see some of the Nationals get into the game. They're going to have an interesting outfield here for the remainder of the game.
They are.
James Wood, the guy who's now on third base, is one of their top prospects and one of the top prospects in all of baseball. He's 21 years old. Their second MLB pipeline prospect, 14th overall in Major League Baseball. We're going to see Dylan Cruz in this game. He was the #2 overall pick in the draft out of LSU last year after winning the Golden Spikes Award, as Keibert Ruiz will get hit by a pitch. Ruiz, who has had a lot of action behind the plate, watching guys hit him with bats with catcher's interferences, now gets hit by a pitch. So he is all kinds of action in that first game, not necessarily the kind of action you want.
No, usually catchers are getting foul tips, balls in the dirt, getting beat up that way, but they're getting hit by a pitch in this ball game.
Yeah, we've seen Caratini get hit by 2 pitches, and now the other catcher, Keibert Ruiz, get hit by a pitch. So Dylan Coleman now will have the bases loaded with 2 outs, and Nick Senzel will bat. So we've got James Wood, we've got Dylan Cruz who will play in the outfield for the Nationals, and we have also into the game as a pinch runner right now at second base, Robert Hassel III, who's another potential star in the minor leagues. Had a tough year last year, but they have some outfielders here in this game that they're really excited to see what they can do this spring as non-roster invitees. Here is Nick Senzel. Senzel with a 1-0 pitch, and Coleman misses wide. It's 2-0. Senzel struck out looking his first time up. Try to hold up his swing, goes too far, says the home plate umpire Edwin Jimenez. It's 2-1. Running at first for Ruiz is Drew Millis. So all kinds of changes in this inning with 3 pinch runners in the game for the Nationals. Wood, Harrell III, and Millis are your pinch runners here with a 3-1 count to Senzel.
Yeah, this is where I go radio silent trying to fill out my scorecard again.
3-1, and there's a little bit of that wildness that plagued Coleman last year as he walks in a run. Coleman last year in 18 1/3 Major League innings walked 19 as he walks in a run here to give the Nationals their first run of the spring. And that command continued at AAA with some issues in 30 2/3 innings, 32 walks, but 48 strikeouts during those 30 2/3 innings. So the stuff is there. The command is the issue. If Coleman can harness that in and back to that 2022 form when the right-hander had a 2.78 ERA in his rookie year with the Royals, then the Astros might have something. Now the batter, Luis Garcia Jr. Garcia flied out to right his first time up. There's a fastball for a strike. You see a little bit of that velocity there on that fastball. It's 1-1.
And I think that's where you got to hold off and have a little bit of patience with Dylan, because it's early in spring, new ball club, new pitching coach, maybe trying out a couple of new tweaks to the mechanics or the delivery. So watch him throughout the course of spring and see if it starts coming around for him.
Singleton will flip it to Coleman, covering close play. Just out at first base is Garcia to end the inning. But the Nationals get on the board with a couple of hits and a run. It's now 7-1. Well, you got to love what you're seeing this first game.
Yeah, and, exciting to watch this guy's getting after it a little bit. Talk about the base running aspect. Guys picking the right pitches to run, taking extra bases on soft singles, doing a lot of things well. Some ball and dirt by Hamilton, advancing to third. A lot of very, very good stuff.
Joe, you've spent your past coaching experiences in spring training basically running camps, and you've been the right-hand man of managers. You've managed, or you've coached along with a lot of managers. You are now the guy. First of all, congratulations. And how is this spring different so far for you, being the manager of a big league team?
Thank you, Blummer. You were talking about running spring training. I still find myself here trying to move the defense, or telling guys who are coming out of the game, I forget that I got great coaches to help me do that work, delegating responsibility sometimes. It takes a while, but, I'm surrounded with some really good coaches. And, sitting here watching these guys compete and making some decisions, picking some pitches to run on, I've been fortunate to be around some really good managers that has allowed me to and helped me to be in this spot to make some of these decisions. So I'm very fortunate, very lucky.
Your debut as manager and the Astros debut for Victor Caratini. He was on base 3 times, handled Renel Blanco and a couple of relievers. Well, what'd you think of Victor in his first game?
He's a true pro, man, and he's prepared every single day. I even asked him right now, do you want that 4th at bat? He said, absolutely, I want it. Not the way you wanted to start the season, getting hit twice, but I know Victor very well. He's a tough guy. He's the right guy for the job, and we're very lucky to have him.
What are the plans for Victor Caratini? We know that Yainer Diaz is finally getting the opportunity to play a little more regularly, but what opportunities is Caratini going to find himself in to go play a little bit and give you some at-bats?
Well, you know what? You can see, he can give you a really good at-bat, especially from the left side. He puts the bat on the ball. He can sprite the ball, take the ball all over the field. He knows his zone, so, he can come off the bench and give you a good AB, so he can do that. Very encouraging to see his at-bats, how he's going about it, his approach. So he's going to find himself giving us some good ABs, even on the days that Yainer has an off day. We're not missing a beat offensively.
I love that he wanted this extra at bat. Here he is batting for the 4th time. A couple of hit by pitches, and he doubled into the gap the other way for his 1 hit. So we're seeing Victor tonight. We saw Jake Myers and Chas McCormick earlier. Tomorrow we'll see a few more of the big boys in our 2nd telecast of the year.
Yeah, you will. You will. You guys will see our starting infield getting to start here in the home game. They're excited. First home game. So you guys will see the rest of those guys tomorrow. The only guys you guys won't see, I'll let you guys know right now here in the broadcast, is Alvarez. You guys will see him on Tuesday here in the home game.
Hey, as long as you have him on a TV game, we're good with that, Joe. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, I wanted to give Jordan a good week here, and full squad, just a good week of him getting some work done, running around the outfield, some hitting, live BPs. I want him to have a good solid day of work, solid week of work before getting his first game.
So what's it like going from the bench coach, where you have a completely different role, to a managerial role with these guys, and now you're going to be leading them into hopefully another championship season? Are the guys excited to have you in that leadership role?
Yeah, my conversation is being, they're so supportive, man. My relationship with these guys have been great. So honestly, I am, living one step at a time, one moment at a time, staying in the present, trying not to be too high, too low. I'm just trusting my coaches to do their part, and trusting the players to do what they've done well, which is they know how to prepare, they know how to play the game hard.
That one just inside for ball 4. Speaking of your coaches, we were mentioning Dave Clark. Clarkie, now the new first base coach. Your former first base coach is now your bench coach, Omar Lopez, your buddy. You guys would carry on conversations but have breaks during the course of the game when Omar had to go out to first base. Now he's pretty much around you the whole time, huh?
That's right. That's
Can't
right.
shake him.
You know, it's my right-hand man. He's, you know, baseball guy. He's in charge of the infielders, so you guys are going to see us having some really good conversations throughout. I told him, listen, if I move an infielder, you know, don't be, don't get upset now. You know, it's a habit of mine, but I'm, you know, he's going to do a really good job, and he's doing a tremendous job so far.
Here comes Caratini. Do you have to give him knuckles, or you're good?
Yeah, no, he's good. He's good. On base 4 times.
How about it?
Yeah.
So how about talk a little bit about Dave Clark? What was the thought process in bringing Dave onto this staff?
You know, Dave, obviously he's an Astros. I remember coaching against him. His energy, his passion. He's a teacher. He brings a level of energy every single day that I thought our groups needed. And also, you know, his knowledge of base running and outfield defense. You know, we addressing, you know, we want to highlight our base running, and I thought that having David at first and Gary at third, we addressing both, you know, the issue from both fronts, right? At first, we could, you know, Dave, he's knowledgeable. He's keeping an eye on the outfield defense, how they moving with pitches, pushing the guys that extra step and primarily, you know, balls in the dirt. You know, Dave is passionate about base running, and adding him to the staff is a big acquisition for us.
John Singleton, the batter, with a 1-2 count. We have seen the Astros be aggressive on the bases, not only going first to third, you mentioned moving up on a pitch, but also trying to steal bags. You wanted to see your guys run from the start of the spring, right?
Yeah, you know, we got to set the tone from the get-go. You know, I said a few days ago that we have to take it to our opponents, and you do that, you know, on the basis. It's a mindset, it's an attitude. Base running is an attitude, and you know, it's running smart also. We don't want to run in 2 outs or anything like that. But you know, when there's an opportunity to take an extra base and the game is telling you that go ahead and take a chance, we're going to want us to take a chance, and that's what spring training is all about. And so far so good.
All right. What, do we got a pitch violation there?
No, I
Help
think,
me out, Joe.
You know what? So there's only one pitch clock working right now. So umpires are giving us some flexibility on time. So actually, right now they're all working. But you know, before the game started, they told us there's only one clock working, so they were going to give us a little bit of leeway on time. So.
Joe, appreciate the time.
All right, guys.
Thanks, buddy. Joe Espada joining us here in the 5th. We're halfway home. The Astros lead 7-1. Into the 5th inning, Astros lead this game 7-1. There is a new pitcher on the mound for the Astros as Victor Robles leads off and chops one to the new first baseman, John Garcia, who will flip it to Misael Tamarez, who is now the new pitcher for the out. Tamarez, a young right-hander who the Astros have a lot of hopes for. He's coming into this spring in his 2nd spring training with the team. See, the record was difficult last year, but he's got a live arm. They signed him as a 19-year-old back in 2019. He's now 24 years old out of the Dominican. And when you see prospect rankings in the Astros system, usually Spencer Arrighetti is near the top of those rankings, and the Astros fully anticipate they will see him at some point this year. But Hammer is not too far behind in some of those rankings. He's a guy that the Astros have an eye on.
Now, they traded away to get some of these bigger names back in return with some talent that might be a little bit closer to the big leagues, but it always seemed that they had guys in the Class A division that were going to be able to work their way up. Tamarez is one of those guys that he's going to eventually work himself into that position. He was able to spend last season in Sugar Land.
Count is 1-2 here to Asim Nunez, who is the new shortstop for the Nationals. Nunez came over as a Rule 5 pickup, so he would have to make the team or else be offered back, as that ball's a called third strike on the outside edge. Nunez goes down looking. Tamarez picks up a strikeout for the second out.
A new edition of Astros Bases Loaded is on the way, featuring exclusive interviews with now Astro for Life Jose Altuve and newest Astro Josh Hader. We also catch the team taking part in Reggie Jackson's Celebrity Golf Tournament. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded tomorrow at 11 a.m. before the game.
James Wood, this is the prospect we were telling you about, just unloads one up to the walkway in right field beyond the berm. This is the guy they got from the Padres in the Juan Soto deal, and in his first swing as a National, he hits a mammoth shot out into the darkness in West Palm Beach, Florida.
That was a legitimate tank. You can see he could create some leverage with that frame that he's got. Tamarez challenged him, and Wood did not miss. He laid it to him. That's a pretty good noise off the bat, TK.
That was Jordan-esque.
Yes.
That had some distance to it. This ball hit pretty well. It's going to stay in the park, but it'll be down for a hit. Diving attempt out there by Justin Dearden, and that's going to allow the ball to go all the way to the wall. And picking him up and laying him down is Lewin Diaz, who has himself, well, actually that's Travis Blankenhorn, the DH, who has himself a triple.
Driven to the opposite field. I tell you what, if it was last season, Dearden probably would have made that play as good a spring as he had. This one just tailing away from him out of his reach. And as soon as it gets past him, it's off to the races.
Oh, that was Robert Hassel III, Hassel III, who picked up a hit. Now they're hitting line drives all over the place. A home run, a triple, and now making a bid for a double. And in there safely with an RBI double is Blankenhorn to score Hassel. And the Nationals have scored a couple of runs here on Tamarez with 3 consecutive hits.
Yeah, they're not wasting any time. They're very aggressive against Tamarez.
So now Lewin Diaz will bat. Hassel III bats in the 3 spot. Lewin Diaz bats in the 6 spot. There's a called strike. Home run, triple, and double, 3 consecutive batters. James Wood, Robert Hassel III, and Travis Blankenhorn. Pitch a little bit down. The count is 1-1. Lewin Diaz, left-hand hitter. Pitch up. It's 2-1. Tamarez, born January 16th. So he just turned 24 last month. 6'2" right-hander. This ball hit hard but foul. The count's 2-2. Nationals had a couple of hits last inning. They have 3 hits this inning. Astros still out hitting Washington 8-6. Now the count's 3-2. Last year, 26 games for Misael, 17 starts, 100 strikeouts and 101 innings. The walks were higher than you would like, 60 walks. And he's another one of the guys the Astros signed out of the Dominican a little bit later than a lot of prospects sign out of that country, as he was signed at age 19. Luis Garcia was 20 when he was signed. Framber Valdez, 21. Didn't miss by much. 3-2 pitch a little bit up, and that'll be a 4th consecutive batter on base for the Nationals as Lewin Diaz picks up a walk. That'll bring up Drew Millis, the catcher. Now a word from Fubo.
Space City Home Network is now streaming on Fubo. Try free at FuboTV.com.
Drew Millis gets his first at bat. Millis came on as a pinch runner last inning. A lot of these guys hitting this inning came on as pinch runners. There's a called strike, 0-1. So it was a ground down and a strikeout to start the inning. Now 4 consecutive batters reaching. On the ground to third, played there, over to first. Chad Stevens gets his first action of the game. The third baseman makes the throw for the final out of the inning. Nationals score 2 with 2 runs.
In the trophy case, remember, it's spring training for everybody, so don't be so hard on yourself if you can't get it. But if you don't, we may have issues to talk about later. And stay tuned, because we'll reveal who that Astro is, powered by Reliant.
Zach DeCenzo, first pitch swinging, sends one deep to right, all the way back to the wall, and that ball is caught at the track. DeCenzo making a bid for a home run. That's Dearden. Dearden making a bid for a home run on his first swing of the spring. He had a home run in his first spring training at bat last year. Almost did the same this year.
Yeah, he was amazing last spring, to the point where we thought he might have an outside chance of making the ball club. But here, puts a good swing on it. We've seen this before, and it was about 4 or 5 hours ago, with the wind blowing out to right, that might have had a chance.
So a deep fly ball to right field off the bat of Dearden, but it's out number 1. And now getting his first at bat of the night is Zach Daniels, the new right fielder. Daniels in his first spring training last year, getting a chance to come back with the Astros this year. Daniels hits the ball on the ground foul. Zach is out of Tennessee. He was a 4th-round pick in 2020. Spent last year mostly with Corpus Christi at 277 with 13 home runs. 25-year-old outfielder, plays all 3 outfield positions, down to the count 0-2. The Nationals got 2 good innings out of Jackson Rutledge. He did a nice job kind of restoring order to this game for Washington. They had used 3 pitchers to get through 3 innings.
A couple of minor leaguers to watch in this ball game. Last season, you see the numbers for Pedro Leon on the left, highly touted prospect, and Zach Daniels on the right-hand side.
On the ground past the mound, the new shortstop Nasim Nunez makes the play. Nunez had to adjust his body on the fly there as that ball kind of kicked to his right side off the mound for the second out. New pitcher for the Nationals is the lefty DJ Hers. Oh, this is the veteran Richard Blyer, the other lefty out of their pen. Blyer in the game. Blyer signing a minor league deal with the Nationals, wearing number 49 this spring. He's been around the league a bit. There's another pick at short. Nunez showing the leather off. Makes a strong throw for the final out of the inning. So the Astros go down in order. That last out, a ground out off the bat of Chad Stevens, and we are through 5.5. Astros lead 7-3.
Fourth annual Astros Foundation College Classic returns to Minute Maid Park from March 1st through the 3rd, and this year's lineup is stacked. LSU, Texas, Texas State, University of Houston, Louisiana, Lafayette, and Vanderbilt will take the field for the 9-game tournament. Learn more at astros.com/College Classic. TK.
All right, Julia, new pitcher for the Astros. Drew Strotman in there facing Carter Kieboom as he bats here to lead off the bottom of the 6th inning.
Yeah, Strotman has spent time with the Tampa Bay Rays, Minnesota Twins, Texas Rangers, San Francisco Giants, and then eventually signed with the Houston Astros over the offseason as a minor league free agent. Looking to make a statement here. He's thrown at 195 and a third innings in the minor leagues, totaling 61 walks and 251 strikeouts in his minor league career.
We'll see what he did last year. Drew Strotman on. Facing Carter Kieboom. Kieboom pinch running and now batting for the first time. Pitch ran in the 4th inning. We'll have a couple of those college games that we're doing. LSU and Texas next Friday. That should be a big one. And then LSU and Louisiana on Saturday. 9 games in 3 days at Minute Maid Park. Kieboom has himself an extra base hit as he sends one down the line. Carter Kieboom with a double here to lead off the 6th inning.
Yeah, I actually got to go to a couple of those College Classic games last season in Minute Maid Park. And I believe that LSU Texas game was sold out. It was packed. It was electric. And now you and I get to be on the call of one of those games, which will be a blast.
Yeah, that'll be cool. That'll be really cool. That'll be Friday night coming up at Minute Maid Park. And from what I'm hearing is they are selling a bunch of tickets for that game and then the night game on Saturday with LSU and Louisiana.
It's going to be exciting.
The guy who threw out the first pitch for the LSU home opener this season was the Golden Spikes Award winner last year and the #2 overall draft pick in this last June draft. He's on deck. He's going to get his first professional
You're good at this, by the way. So awesome. I learn something every day.
Getting his first professional spring training at bat. That's the guy right there. I know there's a lot of Nationals fans watching in. They're excited about the future of Dylan Cruz. Jake will lose the batter now, but Cruz on deck.
They should be excited. And that is a hyper-talented athlete right there. His first 2 picks out of LSU, I mean, they're going to be in the show a lot quicker than you think.
National champions, defending national champions. The Lou goes down on strike. So here is the much anticipated first spring training at bat for Dylan Cruz, and the Nationals fans here give him a nice hand as he steps into the batter's box.
Yeah, you can tell they've been anticipating this young man putting on that uniform.
So Cruz, who last year made his debut at the AA level in the national system, now participating in his first spring training. And there's a strike on the outside edge. It's 1-1. Cruz is not only the top pick or the top prospect in the Nationals system according to MLB Pipeline. He is #7 overall. 22-year-old outfielder. Goes after that fastball and misses. A good little run there by Strotman on that pitch. 2-2.
Yeah, he challenged him right there, and that's that 2-seamer. That arm side movement.
And Cruz goes down on strikes. There you see that good movement. That ball really tailed in on the hands of Cruz. You don't see many 2-seamers like that at LSU as Strotman strikes him out on a really nice pitch.
No, that did look good. Good challenge for Strotman to go out there and face a highly touted prospect. But at the same time, getting adjusted at the big league level is going to be a little bit tougher.
And now Stratman will face the top of the order. This is Nasim Nunez. We saw him make a couple of defensive plays at shortstop, now batting with 2 outs and a runner on second base.
He showed an extremely good glove, able to adjust to some tough hops.
Stratman in his first season with the Astros has been in the minor league system of the Rays, the Twins, the Rangers, and most recently the Giants after being a 4th-round pick out of St. Mary's College. 27-year-old right-hander trying to establish himself now with the Astros as he pitches here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Stratman also pitched in the Arizona Fall League a couple of off seasons. This ball sent to third baseman Chad Stevens, who makes the play for the final out of the inning. So after an initial double, Stratman retires the next.
Down to Julia, who's found herself a Cougar.
I did. Yes, that was my first question. But we were talking fashion. Corey Julks here going with a neutral shoe he finds is important.
That's the way to go. It's easier, you know? Yeah.
But you don't wear neutral shoes. You've got some fashion.
I mean, I just go black, but, you know, I got to have a little swag with it. But, you know, yeah, I have a little swag with it.
All right, he said, I'm with a Coug right now. That was a tight one today.
I was.
That was tense.
Yeah, you know, but, hey, they pulled it out, you know what I mean? No worries, no worries.
No worries.
Yeah.
No worries. How fun is it, though, when the guys are all watching U of H basketball and you're in the middle? I even heard the fight song came on at some point. Was that you?
That was actually Presley. But, you know, it's awesome. You know, so because we got support all the way in Florida. You know, that's the way I see it. Everybody loving the Cougs right now. It's a good time.
Corey, how's your spring going?
It's going good, you know. Glad to be back out here. Got the first knock out the way. You know, it's always big.
Does that feel good? I mean, that's a real thing. You guys like to get that out of them.
Oh, yeah, it feels really good. You know, you got to feel that barrel again, and once you get that, it'll be good.
We've talked a little bit, or a couple days ago or so, but what was your mindset coming in this year? You've got some big league time. You've got some experience. What are you thinking?
You know, just to be ready. You know, everything that I was working on, just to go out there and trust it. And, you know, just see how it happens, see how it goes. But play confident, play hard, and do what I do.
What are you seeing from the guys around you?
I feel like everybody's ready. Everybody's eager to get back out there and go do it.
Before I let you get back to what you were doing, congratulations. Corey proposed. She said yes.
She did say yes. She did say yes. So, you know, we all good now. Now we can just focus on baseball.
Thanks for the time, Corey. TK.
All right, that was a quick inning. Thanks to Corey Julks for being our guest. Robert Gesellman. It's a 1-2-3 inning. Had a little help. Dylan Cruz out there in center field as well with a nice play. Hitting second, went 3 for 3 in 3 innings of at-bats. And how about Victor Caratini on base 4 times, a double, a hit by pitch twice, and a walk. He wanted that 4th plate appearance, and he batted more often than anybody else in this game. As we head to the bottom half of the 7th inning, all the offense early for the Astros, out 7-0 at the end of 3. And they now lead 7-3 as we play in the bottom of the 7th. James Wood, who hit a mammoth home run in his first at-bat, as a Washington National, sends this one to center field. Justin Dearden makes the play for out number 1 as the Astros have gone to pitcher number 6 on the night.
It's going to be right-hander Luis Contreras. Son is a minor league free agent with the Houston Astros. Got that non-roster invite here, making his first appearance in that Astros uniform.
Robert Hassel III tripled in his last at bat, hitting one into the left center field gap. Hassel III taking over in left field for Jesse Winker. I mentioned the outfield the Nationals have going here for the second half of this game. Hassel III in left, and number 2 overall pick and top prospect Dylan Cruz in center, and their second best prospect James Wood in right. Wood's already hit a home run. So the third with a triple, 2-1 the count. Luis Contreras for the Astros, 27-year-old. Turned 28 at the end of April. He was originally signed by the Cubs, but had some injuries with the Cubs. Didn't pitch for them at all and ended up making his way back through independent ball. Eventually signed by the Brewers in 2019 and was with the Brewers in the minor leagues from 19 through last year, and now signing with the Astros as a minor league free agent. There you see what he did last year in the Brewers system. Picks up a strikeout, getting Hassel the third swinging. That'll be out number 2 in the first strikeout for Contreras in an Astros uniform.
I can remember with a lot of these minor league guys who haven't had a chance to get into the show is the fact that they missed out on the 2020 season.
Yeah.
And I wonder how they quantify that in some of these front offices, knowing that that arm has a year minus being taxed. It's kind of interesting, you know, do guys develop a little bit slower, or do they even take that into account?
Yeah, it's definitely noticeable when you see some of the ages of these guys. It's just 1 year beyond when you're anticipating them getting to the big leagues because of the lost season of 2020. That ball was knocked down, but unable to make the play. Would have been a nice play by John Garcia, popped out of his glove. And so reaching Travis Blankenhorn, who's now 2 for 2 with a double. Looked like Garcia had a shot at it, but the catcher slash first baseman couldn't quite squeeze it.
Yeah, Contreras gave up on that play a little bit early, was late over covering, but I think that the base runner beats that out anyways. Tough play at first on a hot shot.
So Blankenhorn now 2 for 2. Here's Lewin Diaz. Diaz walked in his first plate appearance after coming in as a pinch runner in the fourth. Now word from Reliant.
Reliant, official energy provider of the Houston Astros.
Pitcher number 6 on the night for the Astros is Luis Contreras, a 27-year-old with an 0-2 count here. We saw Ronel Blanco pitch very nicely for 2 shutout innings. Blanco threw 33 pitches to get through 2 innings, only allowed 1 hit. Taylor Scott also very impressive and efficient. 1 inning, 9 pitches, a 1-2-3 third. Dylan Coleman gave up a run in his inning, a couple of hits, a hit batter, and a walk in the mix. Misael Tamarez gave up a couple of runs in his 1 inning. Drew Strotman came on and allowed a leadoff double, but then struck out the next 2 and got a ground out to get through his inning. And now Contreras on in the 7th inning. On the ground, Garcia gets another chance. This time he makes the play, and we'll get to the bag ahead of Diaz for the final out. So we head to the 8th. Astros maintain their 7-3 lead. The new pitcher for the Washington Nationals. The Astros will have their young shortstop bat here, Alberto Hernandez. This is a guy that Joe Espada, who usually works with the infielders in his pass roles, the bench coach, has been raving about defensively. He's very young. He's an infielder who is just 20 years old as he bats here in the spring training game. Joe has been really impressed with what he has seen defensively from this young shortstop. He is out of Nueva Gerona, Cuba. 6 foot, 170 pounder at age 20. Just turned 20 in early February.
You can watch a lot of movement of these young players, much like Hernandez, who moves well at shortstop. And again, probably still grown at just 20 years old. But of course, we're going to be a little more patient because we know Jeremy Pena holds down shortstop, doing a great job, a Gold Glove shortstop at that. He's another interesting story for me. Jeremy Pena in spring training, making some swing adjustments. Can't wait to see how that turns out.
We should be able to document that on the broadcast tomorrow. As Pena, you heard Joe Espada say, will be part of that A-list infield. Abreu, Altuve, Pena, Bregman, Yainer Diaz, all expected to start tomorrow. Might see Kyle Tucker get some DH at bats tomorrow. On the ground, right side, played there by Diaz. He'll flip it to Jordan Weems covering, and there's one away in the 8th. All of a sudden, the Nationals pitching staff has retired 8 in a row since a walk to Victor Caratini with 2 outs in the 5th inning. So Caratini, who wanted that 4th plate appearance, means that John Garcia is batting for the first time. Caratini, a great night. Double, walk, couple of hit by pitches, scored a run, knocked in a couple of runs. And now Garcia bats for the first time. Garcia last year split his time mostly at Fayetteville at the Class A level, and then he went to Asheville at the High A level for 24 games, combining 97 games in total. John batted .223 with 4 home runs. Even though he is taking the spot of Victor Caratini, and he is a catcher by trade tonight, Garcia playing a little first base. Last year he started 59 games behind the plate, 27 in left field, and this is in his career rather, 59 games behind the plate, 27 in left field, and 7 career starts at first base in the minors. Last year just 5 starts at the minor league level at first. Called third strike. Jordan Weems pours in a strike there on the 1-2 pitch. That's now 9 in a row sent down by Richard Blyer, Robert Gesellman, and now Jordan Weems.
Time now to reveal our Name That Astro, powered by Reliant. A lot of people got this one, TK. Dodger swap, double your pleasure, filling the trophy case. It is Yordan Alvarez. Right now, a close second behind the Bagwell trade is that trade for Josh Fields for Yordan Alvarez, of course, an all-star. And he will be collecting plenty of trophies in his career if he continues to swing at the pace he has been so far in his career. And one thing I'm looking forward to possibly this season is a full season of a healthy Yordan Alvarez. That would be frightening for the rest of the league.
This ball hit high in the air. Cesar Salazar making a bid in his first at bat of the night, but Salazar comes up about 10 feet short, probably hit that about 380, 390 into right center. Ball doesn't travel very well at
strikeouts per 9 innings, so a lot of swing and miss potentially at the back end of that bullpen for the Houston Astros, and that great addition of Josh Hader.
Oh, look out. Collision between Chad Stevens and Alberto Hernandez. 2 guys that have never played together on the same side of the infield before. They've been at different levels of the Astros minor league system. And the bigger man, Chad Stevens, knocking Hernandez to the ground.
This is something we talked about ages ago when they started to put some of these shifts in. Now the shift obviously eliminated, so you try and avoid these situations where you get players that close together, but a ball slowly hit and a couple of guys with good range, and you end up with a collision. But it looks like everybody is okay.
Tough start to the night for Cole McDonald, who's the new pitcher for the Astros. As he gets the ground ball just in a tough spot where it ends up being a base hit, as Drew Millis ends up on first base. Here's Carter Kieboom.
McDonald, 15th round pick in 2019. Pitched between Asheville and AA Corpus Christi last season.
Kieboom doubled in his only at bat as that one misses wide. It's 2-1. Josh Hader, the big sign by the Astros this offseason. The Astros, for a lot of reasons, were happy to get their first spring training game underway, but a lot of hitters are excited to not have to face any more live BP from Josh Hader.
Can only imagine. Yeah, well, you're also grateful at the same time. That's the only time you have to face him.
Right. The Hader return to the Houston Astros. Not sure when he's going to pitch in his first spring training game. Relievers don't need a lot of reps to get ready for the season, especially knowing that they're going to be called on from late March until hopefully late October, early November. 3-1 pitch is fouled back by Kieboom. It's 3-2. Kieboom used to be be a top prospect for the Nationals as you look at McDonald. McDonald was at University of Iowa for 4 years before, as Blummer mentioned, he was drafted in 2019. We have a mound violation, a balk, or a ball four.
It's either a timer violation, but it ended up being ball 4, and I think that's what McDonald's looking to get the answer to, why he was penalized for that.
How is it a timer violation? You just fouled it back to the...
Well, previously in that at-bat, the home plate umpire, Edwin Jimenez, came out to the front, out to the pitcher and signaled to him, gave the 2 fingers to the eyes, saying, let the hitter get set in the box before you come to home plate. Maybe that second warning warrants the ball 4.
Okay. So really tough start for Cole McDonald. Ground ball where 2 infielders collide, and now a pitch timer / he was ready before the hitter was violation. Ends up in a ball 4 charged to McDonald. So first and second. And here's Jake Alou in his second at bat. He struck out his first time up. But yeah, for the Astros, truly, I think Brian Abreu could be a closer on close to half the teams in the major leagues. Ryan Presley obviously has been a closer and hasn't given up an earned run in the postseason in like 3 postseason appearances, like 20-something innings, more than 20 innings of scoreless, unearned run, no earned runs allowed during that stretch. And then you've got Josh Hader now. I mean, what a luxury Joe Espada has with those 3 arms, and then if Rafael Montero can get back to where he was before last season. Those are 4 lockdown guys at the back end of your bullpen.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. You know, you don't want to be in a situation where you get in this rhythm of bringing in all 3 as often as you possibly can. I think that's where Joe's going to get to kind of massage that trio a little bit, using certain guys to set up certain situations and close out games. But like you said, it is an absolute luxury to have just 3, potentially 4 lockdown guys, because we know this offense for the Astros is going to go out and score runs too.
Lou tried to hold up. He went too far. That'll be a strikeout. They did not appeal down to third base as you take a look at Josh Hader's reliever rankings since the 2017 season.
Yeah, drink that in. You heard Jim Crane say it when he was approached and said what's out there. They approached him and said Josh Hader's the best reliever out there. The numbers definitely back that up.
They lose Hector Neris. They lose Ryan Stanek. They lose Phil Maton, some of the bridge guys, to that late part of the ball game. And then Kendall Graveman has his injury situation that's going to keep him out. So there's a lot of names that had to be replaced getting the ball from the starter to the back end of the bullpen. And that's why there's those spots available for some of these guys to try and make the roster this spring. And the audition started tonight.
You know what's crazy for me is thinking that those numbers right there very well could have been in an Astro uniform. That's where he started. And we talk about how great that Jordan trade. I wasn't a big fan of that Hader trade at the time, and even more so after the trade, considering how that worked out. But I'm grateful he's back and put on that uniform, and you could see the excitement in his eyes too when he finally got to say that he was a Houston Astro again.
Yeah, he's ready to go, and we're excited to have Josh Hader part of the Astros family once again as McDonald misses down. It's 2-2. This is Dylan Cruz, his second professional spring training at bat. Cruz struck out on a nasty pitch from Drew Strotman his first time up. Cruz also made a nice play in center field. Number 2 overall pick in the MLB draft. Batting for the second time, pops a foul out of play. Cruz stays live at 2-2. Astros led this game 7-0. Nationals got 1 back in the 4th, 2 in the 5th. We're now in the bottom half of the 8th inning, 7-3. Didn't miss by much, but it is off the plate, and the count runs full. LSU, before they play in that college classic, will be in Houston for an extended stay. They'll play at Reckling Park against Rice next Wednesday.
Oh, I'm going to be there, TK.
I'll be there.
Man.
We have our last telecast on Tuesday, then fly back. Our last telecast of the first run of spring training games on Tuesday, then we fly back to Houston on Wednesday. So chance for us to catch a little college baseball as fans before we call it over the weekend at Minute Maid Park. Cruz draws a walk, and now McDonald having to work a little extra here in the 8th inning with that hit in between the infielders and a couple of walks. Top of the order, Nasim Nunez. Nunez offensively 0 for 2. And now he has a base hit to left. One run's going to score. Carter Kieboom's being waved around. Here comes a throw. It's on the money. Tyler Whitaker throws out Kieboom at the plate. Whitaker with a strike from left field keeps this game at 7-4. Only one run scoring on that base hit to left.
Great job by Whitaker charging in and throwing a strike to Cesar Salazar at home plate to keep that second run from scoring. Good job of slashing that ball into left field with runners in scoring position. But Whitaker comes up nicely, a beautiful long hop. Cesar Salazar does a good job of staying in front of home plate, leaving that lane open until he gets that baseball, and then it completely shuts down Kieboom at home plate.
Ricky Gutierrez trying to stay aggressive with that second run, trying to score, but he is gunned down at home plate. Let's keep this at a 3-run game. Nice throw by Whitaker. Now here's James Wood, dangerous hitter. We already saw what he can do when he connects. Hit one about 400 feet out to right field. His first time up as a Washington National. He came over along with C.J. Abrams as part of that Juan Soto deal. And that one just misses the plate. 2-1. Towards the first base line. It is gloved and taken by McDonald himself. And that'll be the final out of the inning. Tyler Whitaker with a big assist from left field helps out. The Astros maintain the 7-4 lead as we head to the 9th. Astros getting to American League Championship Series number 7 in a row, the most in American League history. They have been no worse than in a Game 7 of the ALCS the last 5 years since Yordan Alvarez joined the team in 2019. The earliest they have been eliminated from the postseason is Game 7 of the ALCS, which happened again last year to the Texas Rangers, leading 3-2 heading back to Houston. The Astros could not close out that series against the Rangers. They also went to Game 7 in 2020 in the pandemic season against the Tampa Bay Rays before dropping that final game. Here's Justin Dearden facing a new pitcher, DJ Hers, a lefty out of the Washington Nationals bullpen. Lefty on lefty here with Dearden at the plate.
Good live young arm. 23-year-old. Fayetteville, North Carolina. Pitched in Tennessee and AA Harrisburg last season. He's racked up some impressive strikeout totals in his minor league career. 413 strikeouts in the minor leagues.
The pitch they really like, and it's maybe more against right-handers, is this changeup as he misses up and into Dearden. Dearden hit a deep fly ball his first time up, caught at the wall, but now he walks in his second plate appearance. The Astros, with those 7 straight ALCS appearances, they are the only team that has gotten to the postseason in the ALCS or NLCS 7 straight years where you've had to win a round in the playoffs. Part of the Braves' 8-year run, 91 to 99. There was no World Series or playoffs in the 94 season with the strike. But at the beginning of that streak, they just had to win the division to get to the NLCS. That's a great throw by Millis. Drew Millis guns down Justin Dearden trying to steal a base here in the 9th inning.
Now that run in the 90s by the Braves was pretty remarkable, and to see the Astros accomplishing that in the American League is equally as impressive, and it begs the question. Eventually you're going to have the conversation about dynasties, especially this day and age with so much free agency and things like that.
Yeah, it's a remarkable run. The previous mark in the AL, as you saw, was the Oakland A's with the 5 straight years. And the fact that they've won the division in all 6 of those full seasons during the last 7 years, the one exception being the the pandemic shortened season. It's been truly the golden era of Astros baseball, and one of the great runs we're going to see for decades to come. Batting for the 2nd time tonight, going down on strikes, is Hamilton.
The Astros are back in action, and Space City Home Network has your spring training coverage presented by Whataburger. Tune in tomorrow to watch the Astros face the St. Louis Cardinals with coverage starting at 11:30 a.m. only on Space City Home Network.
Zach Daniels that struck out. My bad. And now, with 2 outs and nobody on.
Spring training for everybody, TK.
Chad Stevens bats for the 2nd time.
Even you, man.
Chad grounded out his 1st time up. Well, Quincy Hamilton's a lefty, so I knew it wasn't him. I shouldn't have said it, but Zach Daniels 0 for 2, and now Chad Stevens bats. Astros will have one more arm pitch the 9th inning. The Washington Nationals, after Patrick Corbin did not get through 2 innings, and Yohan Adon threw a lot of pitches in his recording of 3 outs, and then Luke Farrell had to come in. I wasn't sure if they were going to be able to get through the 9 innings with the pitchers they had listed, but Jackson Rutledge restored order to the game for Washington, and then Richard Blyer came in for a 1-2-3 inning. Robert Gesellman had a 1-2-3 inning. Jordan Weems picked up a 1-2-3 inning, and now DJ Hers has the first 2 outs. And how about the Nationals bullpen coming back to record outs now 13 in a row to end this game potentially. 7-4 as we head to the bottom of the 9th. Houston Astros. Only night game on the schedule tonight in spring training in Major League Baseball as we head into the bottom half of the 9th inning of the only evening game. 7-4 Astros. They led 7-0 and a new arm for Houston.
Right-hander Cesar Gomez, one of the minor leaguers that was called up here to make an appearance, getting his opportunity. Back in 2022, he was the South Atlantic League Pitcher of the Week for May 29th. But last season in 2023, spent time between AA Corpus and AAA Sugarland. In his career, he's thrown a total of 233 2/3 innings.
So Gomez comes out trying to pick up a save in this game, leading 7-4 in the bottom half of the 9th inning. He went to Texas Arlington. He's out of Ontario, California. As he faces Robert Hassel III here. Hassel III is 1 for 2 with a triple and a run scored. As he chops a foul at the plate, Cesar Salazar takes that one here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. It'll be Hassel III and then Travis Blankenhorn and Lewin Diaz. Hit well in the left field. That'll be down for a hit. So a 2-hit night for Hassel coming off the bench. Played nicely by Whitaker. He has played pretty well out there in left. He's thrown a runner out, and there he holds Hassel to a single as he cut that ball off.
Hassel swinging a pretty good bat. Doing a good job of driving the ball the other way, too, with authority. But you're right, TK. Whitaker doing a good job of holding him to just 1 base.
This part of the order has done a nice job for the Nationals. Hassel with 2 hits and Travis Blankenhorn at the plate. He's 2 for 2 since coming into the game. He drove in the 3rd run with a double. Also has a hit on a line drive that popped in and out of the glove of John Garcia over at first. fouled back. It's 0-2. Astros play the Cardinals tomorrow. Local time, it's a 1 o'clock start. Central time, that's a noon start. So we'll be on the air with the pregame show at 12:30. Hunter Brown will get the ball for Houston tomorrow. Tonight, we saw Chas McCormick start in left. Mauricio Dubon started shortstop. Victor Caratini start behind the plate. This could be two. Bobbled, and everybody safe. Well, we were bragging about the defense of Alberto Hernandez, and the young 20-year-old shortstop tried to get too quick there. Ended up not getting any outs.
No, you're right, TK. He did get a little bit quick. Didn't have to rush this play. Had a long time for his second baseman, Bastidas, to get over there, so it would have been a little bit better if he was able just to get that baseball and make sure that first out. Got to get at least one out on that kind of ground ball.
So now the Nationals have brought the tying run to the plate. Lewin Diaz is the batter. A single and an error in the inning in this 3-run game. That's fouled away. That's been a tough spot over there. David Hensley had to really reach back to make a play.
Yeah, we've seen that wind blowing from left field to right field, so it's kind of coming over the top of the stands over there at left, on that left field line where we saw Steven sprinting over to, so it's really pushing that baseball back onto the field.
The Astros have not played stellar defense behind Cesar Gomez in this inning. There's a pitch off the plate. It's 2-1.
Yeah, very easily could have 2 outs in the inning right now.
Lewin Diaz used to be one of the top prospects in the Marlins system, an outfielder. This ball to second, could be 2 again. This time they get it to Bastidas, and Bastidas turns it with Alberto Hernandez. That's a big double play for Gomez and the Astros, now 1 out away from their first spring training win.
You get that second ground ball and you totally redeem yourself right there. So Bastidas did a good job of picking up that well-hit ground ball and giving a good feed over there to Hernandez to be able to turn that double play.
Don't forget, coming up after our game will be the Astros post-game show presented by Whataburger. Kevin Eschenfelder and Brian Bogusevic will be your hosts. In fact, they can get ready right now as this ball's hit to right field, pretty deep but playable, and that will do it. Zach Daniels puts it away, flips the ball into the crowd on the berm beyond the outfield wall. And Blummer, that was quite a good start to the spring with a 7 spot in the first 3 innings and holding on to win 7-4.
Yeah, good start, fun start. Always good to be back on air, but it's also good to be excited about baseball again, and this season's going to be exciting. And we just saw it, like you said, the top of the lineup doing damage.
7-4, Astros win against the Washington Nationals. We'll come back and wrap it up and get you ready for the post-game show right after this.